We'll get started here. Guys, tonight, first of all, welcome to this call. I think you all know me. I'm Dale Franklin. Tonight, I'm gonna ask a favor of all of you. I'm gonna be talking really straight to you. Okay, I'm not gonna pull any punches, and I'm gonna talk about building this business, building it within a short period of time, building it with a sense of urgency, and building it during the best time of the year to build it. We have found through, I've been in network marketing now for over 15 years, and done a lot of studying on the topic. And it tends to be the best 3 months for network marketing are April, May, and June. It just consistently there. Okay. I see it around the world, and in January we have the Africans are paying for they have to pay for their kids' classes. They don't pay taxes, they pay for their kids' classes. So they have to come up for money for that. So they're not available to do things. And then, they start gearing up in February and March. And I see that a lot around the world. And then April, May, and June grows like crazy. Then it continues to grow, but it kind of as summer comes on and much of the world, people want to have their vacations and stuff. So it kind of settles down a little bit. Then we have another growth spurt in September, October, November. Then you get into December, the holidays, and everything goes down, and then it kind of starts over. But consistently, April, May, and June are the best growth months. And for My Daily Choice, because we have our 420 sale, we get a great kickoff in April. I think the mistake people make is they try to set themselves up so well in April, and then they take a rest. And if you've sold a lot of product to people on the deals on April, then you have less people looking for product in May, which allows people to say, well, I might as well not work that hard in May because there's everybody's always already bought what they want. Well, that's the wrong attitude. The attitude is you built some great momentum in April. Let's keep it going in May, and let's blow it out in June. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about this and about myself, and I'm just going to lay it out there straight. I hope everybody understands what I'm about to do. This is all about goal setting and goal reaching. I'm going to tell you about myself a little bit. I am financially free, and I have been for years. Okay, I haven't had to work for the last 20 years if I didn't want to. I have enough incomes and enough put away so I could live very comfortably for the rest of my life. But that's not me. I have to be doing things. I'm just not somebody that sits there in a chair and watches sports on TV all day or goes and golfs every morning, 7 days a week. I enjoy all those things, but not to the extreme. Okay. So again, I like staying busy. I like staying, I guess the easiest way, I want to feel valuable to somebody. I want to feel needed. And this network marketing certainly helped me do that. But I am as average a person as you'll ever meet. I have average education. I'm an average speaker. I'm an average leader and mentor. I'm not trying to beat myself up. I'm just telling you the way it is, and I can live with that. Okay, I am what I am, and I'm okay. But I'm also evidence that anyone can do this business. Okay, you just have to have drive and focus. Now, if you talk to some of my friends around where I live here, they'll tell you that when I get focused on something, they think that in some ways they think that's pretty neat. In other ways, it kind of ticks them off, because when I get focused on something, I'm so focused, I kind of get tunnel vision. I'll be spending 90 days building my team with MDC, and I'll have friends call me up and say, hey, let's go out for a drink. Let's go out to supper. Let's play some golf on Saturday morning. I say, can't. I got something I'm doing. And so they know me well enough to know that when I get into that tunnel vision, 90-day focus mentality, they might as well just leave me alone, because that's just the way I am. And I'm not trying to be rude to them. That's just my way of doing things. That's what works for me. The secret, once you set the goal of what you want to do, and we're going to talk a lot today about 90 minutes of commitment. Okay. you need to set the time to achieve that goal. I'm talking about right now, April, May, and June. Okay. You have to ignore all distractions. And the best way to do that, I always, even when my children were still living at home, I would sit my family down and I would tell them, for the next 90 days, Dad's going to be very, very busy. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for our future. Okay. I still love you. I will always love you, but because of what I need to do and the way I need to do it for the next 90 days, you're going to have to forgive me. I'm not going to be as present as normal. After the 90 days, I always set up some sort of some reward, not a reward for me, a reward for my family for putting up with me for that 90 days. Okay. So, but set yourself up some sort of something that you're reaching for, something that you're going to be able to celebrate at the end of the 90 days. So again, I tell my kids, I tell my wife, I'm not going to be as present as normal over the next 3 months, and I'm just going to focus. My goal is always the same when I talk to people about this business. When you join my team, I will tell you I'm going to try to set you up with a goal. I prefer the 90-day goal, and what we're going to do is our goal for you, whoever you are coming on to my team at the beginning, is to get you to 25K within the first 90 days. If you can reach 25K within the first 90 days, you're making somewhere around $4,000 a month with this company. It can fluctuate, it could be 3, it could be 5, but right around $4,000 a month. For many people, that will be enough money so they can consider doing this full time, or just being very regimented and continue to do it part-time and continue to grow it. And the beauty of this is, if you go for the 25K and you only make it to a 10K, you're still going to be making $1,500 or better a month, and it'll give you the incentive to keep on going. But my ultimate goal for anybody that I get in this business is within 90 days to get them to 25K, and that is achievable for any person anywhere in the world. I've had people that were in Africa that were making $300 a month in their regular job, and we got them to 25K in 90 days. Okay. And they were making $4,000, which was more money than they ever dreamed of. And as I tell my African friends, if I don't get you to 4,000, I only got you to 800, meaning I was off by 80%. You're still going to love me because you're making twice the amount of money you're making now in any given month. So again, that's just my African contingent. But the bottom line is, you can change your life in 90 days, but you got to give the 90 days. You got to focus. You got to, whatever you decide to give that 90 days, whether it's 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, full time, whatever, you got to commit to it, just like it was your job. Just like the fact that if you didn't do that, you'd have to pull yourself into the office and chew yourself out or let yourself go. Okay. This is, you are an employee of yourself, and you got to be held accountable. So one thing I want to point out is, I always tell people at this point in time, there's no guarantee. Do nothing, make nothing. You've all heard that. Okay. Work hard, work a lot, make a lot. Okay. But there's no guarantees. But this is what we're talking about 90 days of full commitment, whatever that full commitment is for you. When you just sit down and decide to do it for 90 days, whatever you make for commitment, you got to stick to it. Gotta get her on there. There we go. And how do we get there? We get there. This is the easiest job in the world. I want to say that again, guys. This is the easiest job in the world. You haven't got to go out and dig ditch. You haven't got to go off to college and get an education to become a nurse or a doctor or an engineer. You don't have to do much of anything other than invite. Invite people. You invite people to your house. You invite people to a barbecue. You invite people to weddings. You invite people to graduations. Just do the same thing, but do it in a manner that tells them that you're asking for an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour of their time. Gotta quiet somebody down here. I guess we got it. Excuse me 1 second, guys. I'm just muting a couple people out. There we go. But all you're doing is inviting people. You're becoming a bringer, and you're bringing them either to a live meeting, like a lot of you down in Maryland, you have your live meetings. That's fantastic. I've always been a believer in belly to belly, or you do a Zoom call like we're doing right now. Okay, but whatever it is, you got to get the people there, and that means inviting them, following up with them, reminding them again an hour before it's going to start, focusing on getting them there, knowing full well if you invite 20 people, you're probably going to get 3 or 4. But you got to do the follow-up. You just can't invite them. And then if you invite 20 people and don't follow up with them, you'll be sitting here listening to me during an opportunity presentation, and you'll be by yourself. And that's the most wasted time you could have, because you've already heard me. You don't need to hear me again. You don't need to hear any of the presenters again. You need to have your people there that have never heard and are hearing it for the first time, so they can decide for themselves if this is something they're interested in. So your first 90 days, this is your goal, and should be a goal for you no matter where you are. I don't care if you're in Sri Lanka, you're in South Africa, you're in South America, where in the United States, wherever you are. The next 90 days, you need to invite 100 people to a call. Okay? Invite them, follow up with them, make sure you get 100 people to a call. Okay? So, who do you bring? Okay? I always say, don't prejudge, but pre-qualify. Okay? There's a difference. You know, you're never going to know who's going to take off in this business. You never know who's going to be fantastic and who's not. But it doesn't hurt to pre-qualify. If you got people that have done, you've seen friends of yours that are always talking about the next big thing, and they've never really mounted anything. And then you got other friends of yours that are just quiet plotters that keep building their fortune just one day at a time. You know, I prefer the plotter as far as focused rather than anybody else. But that's a judgment you have to make for yourself. But again, don't prejudge, but pre-qualify. You're going to look for people with fire in their belly. People that are always working. You go by their house at night and they're doing a special project. You find out that you hear about them, how they had to go on Saturday and work overtime because they wanted to. They wanted the extra hours. They wanted the whatever it took. They were willing to do it to make the extra money. Okay, they're trying to do better by their family. There are several types of prospects. The first one, friends and family. Okay. When you first get started in this business, you invite, and anybody you get into this business, tell them to invite friends and family first. Not because you expect them to join. But what I say about friends and family is, if you do this business the way I tell you to do this business, the way we train people to do this business, and you're successful, and you haven't presented this to your friends and family first, what are they going to say a year from now when you're driving around in a Bentley? They're going to say, what about me? Why didn't you reach out to me? My first presentation was to 14 of my family members. One of them signed up. The rest of them looked at me like I was from another planet. At least 5 of those guys, a year later, I saw them over probably a 3-month period, all of them over about a year later, and they all said they all had totally forgotten that I had presented to them and go, why didn't you tell me about this? Oh, I did. First presentation was you remember? Oh yeah. But the bottom line, I do this for one reason only. My conscience is now clear. I have offered to my friends and family. They can never say that I didn't love them enough to tell them about this. You should never feel guilty about offering this to anybody. You should feel obligated to tell all your friends and family about this. If they choose not to do it, that's on them. But your obligation to tell them about this fantastic opportunity, that's on you. So remember, friends and family. The next group, people who need it, but probably won't do it. We all know who I'm talking about. You can think when you start thinking about the people you know, we all know who those are. And those are perfect for one thing: practice. Okay? If you know they're probably not going to join, but they do need it. You know, they're that type that's always it's it's Wednesday afternoon, they're out of money and their paycheck doesn't come until Friday, and they do that week in, week out. You know, we all know who I'm talking about. Those people, the ones that need it the worst, but they probably won't because they're not willing to give up Friday night at the local beer joint or something like that to get ahead. They're more concerned with today than tomorrow. I know you all know what I'm talking about. So use these people for practice. You got nothing to lose. The more you do these presentations, the more you invite people to presentations and see how people react and work on your technique for follow-up and all that, the better you're going to be. The better you're going to do this business. And so you use them for practice. Number 3, already successful people. Now you're sitting there scratching your head going, well, why would you talk to already successful people? Well, guess what? The average millionaire has 7 streams of income, and they're always looking for more. Okay? Think about that. Think about that. The reason they are millionaires, the reason they are successful, the reason they own their own businesses is because they had that drive, and that drive just doesn't stop with one business. They may want to try other things. Some of them they'll succeed at, some of them they'll fail at, but true entrepreneurs are willing to risk failure for the next piece of success. And so again, and how do you get these people that are already successful to listen to you? This is what I say. I tell them how much I respect them and what they've already accomplished. I'll say something like, John, I have always been in awe of how successful you are and how you have beaten the odds and taken your businesses far beyond what I think even you might have thought it would how it would turn out. And I respect you so much. I have recently got into a business myself that I'm really excited about, and I'd love you to take a few minutes and listen to something we have, either and tell them how you want to introduce them, whether it's a video, whether it's a Zoom call or a live meeting, whatever. I'd love you to come with me to a live meeting and hear what they have to say, because I'd really like you to tell me what you think of my new venture. Well, you've just made them feel good. Everybody likes to be, treated well, treated with respect. Everybody likes to feel a little puffed up because other people see them in a good light. Okay, so you've already got them to that point, and then you ask a favor. They've done study after study after study. If you 92 to 95% of people that you ask for a favor, even if they're total strangers, will usually say yes if you do it respectfully and politely. Now, these are people you've already just given them all kinds of praise, and they're feeling good about themselves, and you ask for a favor, they're going to say yes. They're going to, oh, got somebody coming on here. There we go. They're going to be interested in at least joining you enough to see what's going on. Oh, gotta mute that. There we go. So again, that's a great group, and you're going to find that those type of people, those people that are already in business for themselves, already successful, will join at a much higher percentage than anybody else for a couple of reasons. They have, number one, they have the money. They have the money to afford to join. I mean, stop and think about it. It doesn't take much money to get into My Daily Choice. They have the wherewithal to do that, and they're willing, because they're entrepreneurial, they're willing to risk, even a $799 brand bucks. They're willing to risk that to see what's involved and whether it's something that they could really benefit from. So again, they have the wherewithal, they have the experience, they have the bravery to try something new, and they'll listen. Okay, and they'll give you the respect that you're due, because that's what they do. They're as entrepreneurs, they're always looking for the next big thing. So, and they'll listen to anybody who's shows some fire in their belly, because they respect that, because they see themselves in you, because that's what they had when they got started. So that's the third group. Now, these you've heard me talk about these 3 groups before. And now I'm going to add a 4th one, which you've also heard me talk about before, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page. The 4th one is expanding into another country using people that have immigrated to the US. Okay. It's although I have built in a lot of countries, it's a lot easier to build in a country by using basically immigrants that came to the United States, are starting to assimilate in the United States, speak English, and still may speak the home country language and understand the home country culture. You start building with a group like that in the United States. When you start getting a few of them, then you let them bring it back to their country, their home country, and build that way. Now, what I suggest is pick a country. Don't go after, to start with, don't go after more than one country. Pick a country. A lot of ways you could pick a country. It could be your genealogy. Maybe you have relatives from Eastern Europe or somewhere in Africa or South America, whatever. Wherever you have your heritage comes from, that might be one way of starting. So it gives you a chance to kind of explore your own heritage while you're building your business. That's one way. Another way is to, if you have a place you've always wanted to visit. Okay, I've always wanted to visit Thailand. And so I haven't done it yet, but I'm working on it. Eventually, I will be building in Thailand because I've always wanted to spend time there. I've always wanted to get to know, I hear the people there are some of the friendliest people in the world. The beaches are incredible. There's a lot of history there. I would love to do that. So again, that's one of my next on my list. You might already be in tune with an immigrant group anyway, through maybe some people you work with, people you know in different aspects of your life. And if you do, use that to start with. Ask those friends that you have that are part of an immigrant group to help you kind of be introduced to some more in that group so that you can expand that way. But do whatever really gets you excited and whatever is going to expand your horizons. There's nothing wrong with, even if you spend several weeks working on building developing a relationship with somebody from Kenya or Poland or somewhere in Asia. Even if you do all that and it turns out it's not going to work out as a affiliate, you've made a friend. You've made a friend in another part of the world. You're getting a chance to expand your horizons. And I think that alone is pretty cool. So those are the ways to pick. Then looking at then after you've decided what country you're going to want to go to, look in our back office under the international expansion area, where it shows all the, you can go and show all the different countries and what we sell in those countries, and get to be a little bit of an expert on that. Find out, before you get going too far, find out what we sell for products there. Find out what how they can pay for products. Find out how they get paid their commissions. Find out if we're fully registered as a company there, and where the product will be coming from. So, like, if you're opening up Ghana and the product we know has to come from Nigeria for now, as long as you know that and have a good understanding of how things are going to happen, then you don't run into any problems. The problems run in when you start talking to somebody from another country and they start asking you these questions, you don't know the answers. You just don't come across as a professional. You haven't done your homework. So you want to do that. As I said, the beautiful thing about building with immigrant groups in this country first is you bypass all the obstacles, the language obstacle, the culture obstacle, and there's many culture obstacles that you need to overcome. I mean, it's I could list a bunch of them right now, but each country has certain things. Like in Thailand, I believe it is that you never sit with your feet. If you're at the beach, you don't sit with your feet up, so people see the bottom of your feet. That's considered insulting. So you need to know the little things. So when you actually start building and going to a place, you're basically doing things the right way. You're being welcomed because you have the respect for the culture. I've talked about the first 90 days. I've talked about the goal of 100 prospects. Now I'm going to give you some basic statistics. If during this 90 days, you present 100 people to our opportunity, and in whatever way you do it, Zoom, belly-to-belly meetings, showing them a video and discussing it afterwards, whatever you do, as long as you get it to 100 people, this is what's going to happen. Basic statistics, about 20% will eventually become affiliates. Someone will sign up immediately as affiliates, some will sign up as customers, and then be so impressed with the product and how they're referring people to you over and over again that they'll go, well, why am I referring people to Sherry when I could be doing it and making money myself? So they'll say, Sherry, is there a chance I could also do this? And Sherry will say, sure, because she knows she's building for the long term, and it's better to have affiliates, have somebody be an affiliate than a customer. So at any rate, that's how many people go from customers to affiliates. But long story short, you're going to end up about 20% or 20 of that 100 becoming affiliates. 40% are going to be customers as long as you do the correct procedure afterwards. So many of us forget to ask for the sale. We forget to ask when after the presentation has been done and they're pretty fired up about the product, but they say, I don't really want to be an affiliate. And you kind of, oh God, he doesn't want to be an affiliate. So I guess I'll just go. No. Well, what did you think of the product? I thought the product was fantastic. Well, great. Let's get you some ordered right now so you can start seeing how well it works. And then I'm going to check back with you in a couple weeks after you receive the product and see how it worked for you and see if you know anybody else that might like to see the product too. Okay. If you do that, you're going to not only have about 40% being customers, but those customers are also going to either eventually become affiliates, or they're going to be referring other people to you, because once a product works, especially a product that has something to do with saving money on fuel, that conversation comes up all the time in everyday life, and they will start mentioning it to their friends, and they'll start referring people to you. So 40% will become customers. Now, we've talked about 60%, 20% affiliates, 40% customers. The other 40%, oh my gosh, they're going to say no. Okay? But no is not no forever. It does not mean no forever. They'll be watching you. You'll be amazed how many people said no to me 10 years ago. They'll watch me for 5 years and then call me back and say, Dale, I remember when you talked to me about this. It looks like you're still doing it. Looks like you're doing pretty well. Maybe we gotta sit down and talk again. Okay, you get that. But besides that, the night that they say no, and I always tell you, as basic sales, I've been in basic sales my whole life, and I'll tell you right now, never take no. One single no is a no. I always wait and get 2 no's. First no, I always say, you said no, and I'll respect that. But is it no because you're really not interested in this, or is it no because I haven't explained myself well enough? Is there some things you still have questions on that you're feeling uncomfortable about? Did I mess up anything when I was doing the presentation? Anything that I can help clarify so we can take your no and make it a yes. If they say no the second time, I respect that. And I said, okay, you said no twice. I respect that. I have one last thing I would like to do with you. Whether it's somebody I invited or somebody on my team invited, I want to, number one, thank you for coming on this call. Thank you for giving us the 45 minutes to an hour to show you what we had to offer. I would like one last question. Who do you know that might be interested? And what I'm looking for people you know that are always working 2 or 3 jobs, always working. When you drive by at night, they're still working. They're always doing something. They're go-getters. They're real go-getters. They're always doing something. We all know them. Everybody knows them. And I just say, who do you know like that? If you give me their names, and this is so important you do this, if you give me their names, I will treat them with the same respect and dignity that I've treated you tonight. We gave you that. We showed you what we had to offer. You said no. I made sure that it wasn't a no because I maybe didn't explain something correctly. You gave me a second no. At that point in time, I will treat them the same way I did you tonight. And I will just ask them, who do they know? And explain to them who I know. You have my word, you'll never lose a friend. over this because I will treat them the way I treated you. Once you explain all that to people and they feel very comfortable, all their defenses drop down because you've just explained what you're looking for, how you're going to treat them, and the respect that you're going to give them. And they know that that's the way you just treated them. So they're willing to give names. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never not gotten a name. I usually get 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 names. I think my record was 11 one night. but because of that, I constantly have a backlog of people to talk to that I'm constantly reaching out to, just trying to keep up. Okay. Nothing makes me more upset than for somebody to give me a name, and it takes me a couple weeks to get back to them. And by the time I get back to them, somebody else has enrolled them. Okay. So you have to have this sense of urgency. I got to get to them. I got to get to them. I got to get to them before somebody beats me to it, and they've just given you fantastic, referrals because they're people that you're looking for, entrepreneurs. And if those entrepreneurs say no, they're going to give you people they think are entrepreneurs. And your waiting list of people you're going to be talking to just get more qualified. So the closings just get better and better and better. So never just ignore that 40%. So where, in a nutshell, most people will even if they get the 100 people there, well, let's put it this way: most people will invite 100 people. They won't do any follow-ups. If we're lucky enough for them to invite 100 people, they won't do any follow-ups. They might have 1 or 2 people show up. Of those 1 or 2 people, if they're lucky, maybe one becomes an affiliate, and maybe another one becomes a customer, and they just feel it's not working. Well, it's not working because they're not doing what they should be doing. Commit yourself to 100 people in 90 days. Get 100 people onto the calls. And then once the opportunity call is over, you're going to have those people going to want to be part of it. You're going to have people that want to be customers if you ask for the sale. Okay. If you don't ask for it, you just keep on talking to them and then just hang up. After you hang up, I'll tell you what's happening on the other side. They're going, oh, hell, I was going to buy some of that, but she never even asked for a sale. Oh, well, I hope she'll call me back. And so you just lost a sale. And you're building up by the ones that say no and doing it the way I just taught you, you're going to have a lot of people to talk to continually. You'll be buried. If the biggest problem I have pulling my hair out sometimes is the fact I just can't get back to everybody that I want to get back to as quickly as I want to. It's just so many hours in a day. So keep that in mind. Let me just check my notes here real quick. Just to emphasize, to end this, I've been pretty good. We're just about a half hour since I started. This is the best time to do this the next 90 days. If you do 100 people, commit yourself to 100 people. Do everything I just told you to do. And everyone that I have ever met who has done this has been successful. Every huge networker that you'll ever see in any of these big conventions will tell you they had 1, 2, 3, or 4 90-day growth spells in their career that made them millions and millions of dollars. Because once the 90 days is over, you've got such momentum going from your team that you're building and helping them duplicate exactly what you're doing. You have so much momentum, you can't shut it off if you tried. I tell this story. This was 8 or 9 years ago. I had a heart attack, and I was building my team. I had a heart attack, and I was down for 2 weeks. And right after I had my heart attack, and after the 2-week rest, I got out. I was out now. I'm behind on some stuff, and I had cut some firewood. I had a bunch of log piles there, and I was cutting the logs and the firewood, and one of the piles shifted, and I didn't get out of the hole fast enough, and a log came down across my leg. Because I was having blood thinners from the heart condition, my legs swelled up. You would have to see it. It was 3 times the size it was supposed to be. And it put me back in bed for another 2 weeks because I could not put my leg down because the blood pressure change would just be excruciating. So I had to keep it up. So there was 4 weeks where I couldn't do anything. During those 4 weeks, my team grew by 77 affiliates, and not to mention the customers I got. But 77 affiliates while I was not able to do anything because my team was still doing things. Okay. So once the momentum starts, you can't stop it. And once you start momentum in a country, such as we're doing in Africa and Eastern Europe, and they're starting to do stuff down in South America, we're starting to see more in Asia. Once that momentum starts, any network marketing company worth their salt, when the momentum starts, it goes quickly from just regular momentum to what's the word? Just incredible, uncontrolled growth in a very short period of time. So you just got to believe that what I'm saying works, because it does. There's evidence of it around the world every day, and you just build this. But you can't listen to what I have to say tonight and get up tomorrow morning and slide back into your normal habit, your normal routine, and expect anything to happen. You have to tell yourself right now, the best thing you can do for yourself right now is to sit down after we're done this, grab a piece of paper and just write out a goal. Pick a certain amount of time every day, pick what days you can do it, and set it up for the next 90 days. And just, that's your new schedule. And then put that schedule, make copies of that, put one on your mirror in your bathroom, put one on your refrigerator door so you see it constantly. So it keeps reminding you about what you're doing, and choose the goal that you're reaching for after 90 days, that reward you're going to give yourself and your family. Figure out what that's going to be. If it's something cool, like a trip to Disney or something like that, take a picture of that and put it on your mirror, put it on your refrigerator. So you'll see it. So you'll see what you're supposed to be doing, and you'll see what it's going to do for you for doing that every single time you go to get a drink of water or something out of your refrigerator, or every time you stand at your mirror getting ready to start the day. So I hope this has helped. Guys, I promise you, if you do what I'm suggesting you do, and you do it consistently for 90 days, you will look back a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and you'll say, thank God I listened to Dale in March of 2024, or April of 2024, and he was right. Those 90 days changed my life like nothing else I have ever done in my life, and it has helped me, it's helped my children, it's helped my grandchildren, it's created a legacy that will go on for generations to come. I hope I left you with something to think about. Have a great night.